Far from the crowded room, you played my heartstrings. What could I do? Cold, caught by the light in you, the prospect of something new, too good to be true. We were so young and free, a beautiful symphony, no time to deceive. Now all the love has gone. We traded our innocence, tried to stay strong.
Oh, hey there, and welcome to Tangled Strings. I'm Mia, your next irresistible obsession. Tonight, we'll untangle the web of modern dating. Because let's face it, love in the 21st century is one tangled mess.
And hey guys, I'm Ashley, your down-to-earth co-host who's here to share the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the ridiculous. Now, I'm no expert, but I've got a lot of stories, and trust me, they're worth hearing.
Hello everyone, I'm Sophia, but my friends call me Tinkerbell. Why? Because I sparkle a little magic in everything I do. Together with these two, we'll help you navigate love, loss, and everything in between. And I'm sorry, I'm tired because I've had no sleep, and it's like 2 a.m. here.
You're so good. So here's the deal. Dating, relationships, family drama, it's complicated. But tonight, we're diving in head first to help you untangle those heartstrings.
Exactly. And if you're tuning in, don't hesitate to call in with your questions because this show is all about you, your stories, your challenges, and your wins.
And we mean it. No question is too big, too small, or too awkward. We're here to talk about it all.
But fair warning, we're brutally honest, so bring your thick skin.
Or just a sense of humor. That works too.
So tonight's theme is navigating modern dating. From post-pandemic love to Gen Z trends, we've got a lot to unpack. So grab your favourite drink, get comfortable, and join us as we dive in.
And don't forget to share your tangled heartstrings with us. Call in, drop a comment, or send us a message. Your story could be featured right here on our show.
And trust us, you don't want to miss out.
Because at the end of the day, we're all in this together.
We sure are.
All right, so let's get real for a moment. Before dating apps and pandemic lockdowns, dating was all about charm, wit, and let's be honest, a whole lot of courage.
And awkward small talk. Let's not forget about that.
Then when the pandemic hit, suddenly dating became, what's the word?
A logistic nightmare?
That's one way to put it. I was scrolling through Reddit while prepping for this episode, and I came across this post that I think perfectly sums it up. It says, 29 female here. I haven't been on a date in years, and it seems like everyone's either antisocial now or only wants to be friends. Most couples I know met before the pandemic. So, what do we think? Did the pandemic turn us all into hermits? Did it turn dating into just hookup culture where no one wants to put in any effort? Or is this just the new landscape of dating?
I think it's like the pandemic hit pause on everything except for Netflix and delivery apps. I mean, how are we supposed to meet people when we're all stuck at home in sweatpants?
And even now, it feels like we're all trying to figure out how to connect again. Like titles, politics, religion, they've always been tricky, but now it's like everyone's walking on eggshells, it seems.
Yeah, I agree. Well, what about you guys? Did the pandemic change your dating life? Let us know. Our call lines are officially open.
Let's talk about this. Before the pandemic, dating was already tough. Add masks, social distancing, and a newfound love for solitude, and suddenly you've got a recipe for.
Relationship property.
Oh, wait, we have a comment. Melissa says the pandemic was a collective trauma. It changed everyone. I do agree, Melissa, for sure.
I went through a breakup during the pandemic because I was spending so much time with this person that I realized I didn't actually like him.
That happens a lot, and there was a lot of issues with even people splitting up because they had to spend so much time together.
When you don't have going out on dates and doing fun, extravagant things as a distraction, and you're just stuck there with the person, it gets real.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, mine's a bit of a not soft, a bit of a hard subject that hits home, but through the pandemic for me, I was stuck with the father of my children who was my abuser, so I couldn't escape at all. You're stuck in the pandemic, you can't see nobody else, you can't connect with anybody else, and you're just stuck with this one person, and there's nothing.
Stuck with one person and then figuring out that that person's not right for you, that had to have been hard.
Yeah, it was.
Sophie said the pandemic really changed many things. It did. It changed a whole lot.
It changed 24-hour grocery stores, and I'm still not happy about it.
Me either.
So,
Ladies, give out the phone number. Just 1 second. Our phone number for call-in is 571-317-3122.
Can we read that one more time in case people want to jot it down?
Absolutely. 571-317-3122.
Thank you, Mia.
You're welcome.
So, how do we navigate all this? Do we just embrace the chaos, or do we go back to the old school methods in regard to dating? What are some of the pros and cons you guys think? What were some of the good things about the old school ways?
The old school ways, I think, are much better because you get that face-to-face connection. And with dating apps and stuff, it's not really the same.
Yeah, I'm still very old-fashioned. I do not rate dating apps myself. I'd rather meet people in person. Like, it would be amazing to meet someone grocery shopping or just going for a drink at your local pub or something like that.
Well, and it's interesting because you can text with someone or, be talking to someone through an app, and you can feel like you have this amazing connection. But like you guys said, when you're face to face, like it's a totally different vibe. And there have been people that I've texted with that I thought we really clicked and we had a great connection. And then we met in person and it was not there. So when you meet old school in person, like you can just kind of tell if it's there or not.
We've got James who said, "Hello everyone." Hey everyone.
James!
James.
Yeah, I think a con to the old school method is you have to, like we talked about earlier, you have to have that courage. And it's hard to know if somebody is open to being approached. Some men would be turned off by a woman asking them out. And so there might be guys that I would ask out or give my number to that would be like, oh, I can't believe she would do that. Other guys are afraid of offending a woman or making her feel uncomfortable or unsafe or whatever. So they might be super open to a woman approaching them or asking them out. So it's just kind of hard.
If you're approaching a man, you're taking away that masculinity from him. So I think that plays a big part in it too. So if he has this big masculine ego and you approach him, he's going to be like, no, thank you, because that's not going to be for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think
If he's turned off by a woman who is bold and courageous, then he's not a good match for me.
Well, I think guys are a lot more scared to approach women these days that I've found. Back when I was young, they weren't scared at all. It was just straight up, they'd come up to you, ask you questions about yourself. One of them being, "Are you single?" The notorious question. But now they're just frightened to approach you. You have to sort of put in the work as well to make them know that it's okay for them to come over, and you might have to start the conversation. It's a lot harder now. I think men are finding it harder to approach women since the pandemic. It's just completely changed.
I think women are more standoffish too when men approach them now because of dating apps and how bold they are and what they send within the dating apps themselves. Women are getting turned off because so many men are sending those unsolicited pics. But I see women doing it too. So, I mean, it's a big thing too. If you're sending those pictures, you're not going to get the response that you're wanting.
That is why I was put off dating now. First time I went on, the message was an unsolicited picture of that Mr. Harry. So, no.
Well, Brittany Murphy is asking, why are people less attractive nowadays? I'm going to answer this question, and it's going to come off because I know if you follow me on any of my social media, I use filters like crazy. I love my filters. And I honestly think that's why in this world that we think so many more people are unattractive, because we have those filters and we're using those and we have this picture in our mind of what we see, and we're not finding that out there. We need to take that picture out of our mind and open our eyes a little bit more. And it's not just the looks that you should be looking for. You should be looking for personality before you look for anything else, because that's where you're going to find your compatibility at.
Yeah, I agree. But the question is, why do women use so many filters? It's because I've noticed in this day and age, it's all about being perfect, all about being best. and you're competing against so many people. So if you don't use filters, you're getting shamed by men and women, called ugly, called fat, called all this type of stuff. Look at your skin. And then when you use filters, you get the more positive comments about you. So that's why women are using filters, because they made it so normalized to try and always look your best and use them filters to get the positive attention. Otherwise, they're going to end up down and out and depressed of all the negative comments that they're going to get when they don't use filters.
Right. I agree. Filters are good and they are bad because they help people with body dysmorphia like me feel better about themselves. Even though I have people that tell me I'm beautiful all the time, I still don't feel that way sometimes. So the filters make me feel that way. But I'm also not in the dating world, so I'm not worried about that.
Well, and I think it comes down to self-esteem overall. And so, like, I think filters are really fun too. And there was a time that I would not take a picture unless we went onto Snapchat and used whatever pretty filter. It thins your face, it thins your nose, it makes your skin clear. And as I've worked on my self-esteem and body positivity and being more comfortable in who I am, plus I outgrew adult acne, and that really helped now that I don't have acne. But between that and building up my confidence, I try the filters and I don't like them because I do like what I see in the mirror, even though I know I'm not a supermodel and I'm not super skinny and I don't look like everybody else and my hair isn't as light as I wish it was. I've gotten to a place where I'm confident as I am. And so if someone doesn't see me as my real picture and like me, because I have dated a lot over the past 8 years since my divorce. So if they don't like me in my picture and think I'm pretty based on my real picture, then they're not going to like me in real life. So I just kind of come to, I would rather just put the real picture of what I am out there. Not that I won't play around with filters, but on like a dating app or on like first meeting somebody, I'd rather put my real self out there and then have them be pleasantly surprised when they meet me and be like, oh, you're even cuter with your charming personality, versus throwing some super skinny filtered image out there and then they see the real me and then they're disappointed. Like, that would make me feel even worse. So I think there's like so many things that play into it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, like
We're good and we're bad.
Yeah,
What?
like Benny's just said, filters are good. They're very good, but some people overdo it. But that's okay. That's okay too. If you feel comfortable with those, it's their choice. I agree. I try not to filter my face too much because, like you out, Ashley, I want to look like myself. I don't want someone to in the street to go like, oh, well, you don't look like the person I saw on Facebook or something like that. Like, look at the state of you, kind of thing. And I have done freelance modelling from time to time, and obviously I see the photographers as well. Don't overdo it because, you know, I want to still look like me, but the body dysmorphia, I'm not over mine yet. I'm still going on about, like, I'm going to go to Turkey and get a nose job. I want a facelift. I want a chin and jaw. Like I'm never happy with myself.
Oh, no.
No judgment and no shame, but you're so beautiful that I can't believe you could look in the mirror and not think you're like the hottest woman to walk in any room. Wow.
It's a beautiful
All right, ladies, that's it for our first segment. Stick around because up next, we're diving into some spicy territory. Sex, love, and religion. Woo! Are we ready for that one?
Yeah, and these are hurting my head.
I'm interested in that topic.
All right, welcome back, everyone. For this segment, we're gonna take a step back from the chaos of modern dating and focus on something a little bit deeper: self-reflection. Relationships can be messy, but before we dive into sex, love, and religion, Let's start with a little mindful exercise. It's all about grounding ourselves. So let's take a deep breath, because a calm mind makes for better decisions in love.
All right, everyone. So wherever you are, at home, on the go, or watching with friends, join us for this quick exercise.
Let's begin. Close your eyes if you can. Take a deep breath in, hold it for a moment, and exhale slowly.
Think about one aspect of your dating life that you'd like to improve. It could be something simple, like being more open-minded, or something a little bit bigger, like building trust.
Lastly, think about your next step to reach that goal. Got it? Now write it down or keep it in your mind, but remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress.
That felt good, didn't it? Now, let's talk about how we can grow in our relationships. Actually, what's one thing you learned about yourself through dating?
Where do I even start? For me, it's about compatibility and not being afraid to be alone. I used to think like the purpose of life was to find a partner and to settle down, and I felt like my self-worth was determined based on if I had someone in my life. Um, and what I found is that that was causing me to settle for people who weren't right for me. And it was causing me to try to force relationships that didn't really fit, like taking a square peg and trying to fit it into a round hole. And so for me, I had to get actually really comfortable being alone and feeling like a whole person by myself. Because before I felt incomplete. I'm incomplete until I find this person. Like the idea of soulmates is like there's one person ripped in half. There's a male and a female, and they come together and they make up a whole person. But it's like, no, I am a whole person. And once I have become secure in that, um, that's when it's opened me up to finding people who I'm actually compatible with. So instead of like, oh, is he nice and does he pay for meals? I'm like, do we communicate the same? Do we have the same love languages? Do we have the same values? So it's really just opened my heart and my mind and my whole life up to somebody that's actually right for me.
Absolutely. For me, it's about honesty, like not just with the partner, but like with yourself, knowing what you want, being brave enough to say it aloud. Like I'm a very honest person, and I am who I am from the start, and you've got to love me for who I am from the start. And I will not change. I will only change if I have to match energy. But all I have to go back is you are you from the start, and it does not change, because that's when it gets complicated, and that's when I can't invest my full self in you anymore.
That's so true. For me, it's about communication and balance, especially when it comes to sex, love, and religion. They're deeply personal topics, but they play such a huge role in relationships. Communication, communication, communication. If I could say that more, I would. Trust me. Communication is the biggest thing and the one thing that will end a relationship the fastest. I think that is the number one biggest thing is communication.
I totally agree. And when I was going through premarital counseling prior to my marriage, that I have now been divorced for 6 years, the pastor at the time told us that the three leading causes of divorce were sex, money, and communication. And so communication is huge. I love communication so much. I got my bachelor's degree in communications because I'm like, I feel like effective communication just solves everything. I 100% agree, Mia.
Sex is a big part too, though. I will say that. Sex is a huge part in relationships too, because if you don't have good communication, you are not compatible, and then your sex life sucks, what kind of relationship is that? Why would you want to be there?
I agree with that. Sexual connection is absolutely everything. If you're not enjoying it, then that's not going to work neither. It's a very important role in a relationship. Sorry, my hair's giving us a headache.
No, you're good.
Well, and also, if you're incompatible in just what you're looking for. So I know a lot of couples where one partner wants to have sex like 3 times a day, and then the other partner wants to have sex like once a month. And so there's not a happy compromise because, like, if she's doing it 2 or 3 times a month, she feels like she's giving so much of herself for her partner, and he feels super deprived, or vice versa. He's like, okay, well, I'm only doing it once a week when I would rather do it, multiple times a day. And she feels like it's too much. And so being on the same page in what you're looking for and how often is so important.
Yeah, you're either going to have a sex drive of a man or you're going to have a lower sex drive. Personally, I should have been born a man, I swear. So bad. I need to stop.
All of the women in my circle, all of the women in my friends' circle have very high sex drives. So I'm like, is it just a stereotype that women have low sex drives, or is that something that changes?
Honestly, I think it is, because a lot of women that I know have a huge sex drive, and their husbands or their significant others have a lower sex drive. So, I mean, I think it's a stereotype. I think it's built into our DNA on our sex drive. And honestly, I really think it has a lot to do with who you're with, too.
Yeah, I think that there are probably a lot of women who, when they've been married for a number of years, their sex drive decreases, not because of a hormone thing, but because they're so unhappy and unfulfilled in their relationship that they're like, if I'm lacking in feeling respected and loved and valued, why would I want to do that? And so I think it's not that your body doesn't want it anymore. It's just that maybe you don't want that person. You don't want to be close to that person because of how they make you feel.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, after being in a relationship for as long as I have, I've never had that issue, but I know people that have had that issue where, they've been in a relationship for so long and they say that they're happy, but deep in the inside, they're really not, because they're not getting the emotional attention that they need, or the communication is horrible, or even maybe the sex isn't that great and they're just doing it because they're married. And, sometimes sex just isn't good.
Yeah.
Can I share a story real quick? Oh, go ahead, Sophie.
Like Griff said, even in communication, you need to feel connected. And Joan said, it's just a misunderstanding.
It is, in most cases, it is a misunderstanding, or not wanting to be truthful because you're scared you're going to hurt somebody else's feelings. You should never be scared to hurt the other person's feelings, because it's going to hurt them more in the long run when you're not honest with them.
Yeah, honesty is the best policy.
Yeah. I dated a guy briefly who he had never been married, but he had a child with someone that he dated, and they were engaged to be married. They didn't end up getting married. And I talk about all the important topics because I'm checking out compatibility as I'm going, and sex drive came up, and he told me that his previous partner had a really low sex drive, and that she would finish very quickly within like 3 minutes. And I was like, that seems weird to me, but okay, that's very quick for a woman. And after I had sex with him, you guys, I don't think she had a low sex drive, and I don't think she finished in 3 minutes. I think she didn't want to have sex with him because it was very bad, and she finished to get it over with. It was very bad. And he was a very nice person. I would never like say anything to hurt him. He was a great guy. But I was just thinking like it is so important to have that as a fulfilling part of a relationship, in addition to communication, which is how we moved over to talking about this. But you have to have those key pieces in a relationship to make it work.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, I'm going to read a couple comments because I think they're important. Melissa says it's definitely a stereotype. The concept that women want sex for pleasure wasn't even entertained socially until the 60s in the US. And Joan says, from my point of view, women have way bigger sex drive than men, and it all depends on their emotions. I agree with you, Joan. 100%. It depends on the emotions.
Yeah.
Yep. If you're with somebody that makes you feel like crap, you are not in the mood. And if you're with somebody that makes your heart soar, it's like, how often can we get this?
You're always in the mood. Yeah.
Not always ready to go.
Absolutely.
Literally.
Well, we want to hear from you guys. What is one thing that you've learned about yourself through dating? Something that you've learned is a key concept for you, or something that's really important. Feel free to call in. You guys are already dropping in comments. Feel free to keep sharing those, or share your story online.
Don't be shy.
What do you guys think is the biggest challenge in your relationships? Do you think it's, I know we've talked about communication, we've talked about sexual chemistry, we've talked about compatibility. What about things like trust? I know trust is a big thing for some people. I know respect is huge. Are there things that you guys have found have been challenging?
I think trust is something that they have to work with. Regardless of when you get in a relationship with me, any type of relationship I have, whether you're my friend, you're my family, even my kids, they have to build trust too. So trust is something that you build long term. It's not something that you just get right away, I don't believe.
Yeah, trust is everything. If you haven't got trust, then what's the point? If you don't trust them, then you're just going to be putting yourself through so much stress and so much anguish that you're going to have to play detective all the time, and it's just not going to be enjoyable. Oh, we've got some comments. Right. So Pablo said, I'm glad you guys are having a conversation about this because not many people are ready to talk about these. And then Stephen said, I think that will be given personal space.
What does that mean, Stephen? You think what will be giving? Oh, that would be your biggest challenge, is giving people personal space.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it could mean you having personal space as well, so you aren't always together, which I agree with that as well, because you've got to leave room to miss each other. He's got to have his own things, you've got to have your own things. There's got to be like a balance.
I think that there's some people that when they get into a relationship, it becomes their whole personality. And then all of a sudden their social media transforms, and it is all me and my boyfriend, me and my, fiance, me and my girlfriend, me and my husband, whatever. And there just becomes this huge focus on the relationship, and you start to forget who you are. You start to blow off your friends, you stop going out and doing things with people, you stop doing your hobbies because every waking minute that you have is just with this person. We just sort of lose our identity.
I'm the one that did that mistake. I stopped going to the gym. I stopped having my sunbeds, having self-care, getting my nails done, because I felt like every minute that he had spare, he wanted me to be cuddling into me, wanted to be being affectionate, which is all great because I love that. I love the affection, I love the love, and I loved not doing all that stuff just to cater to him. But then I found, once that relationship failed, that I needed to continue what I was doing, because now I'm rock bottom and he's been built right up there. So there always does need to be that balance, otherwise you're going to get dethroned and you aren't going to be level anymore. So yeah, it's all about taking time out for yourself, self-care, your hobbies, your interests, like your self-care, and then he's got his self-care, his hobbies and his interests, and there should never be a break from that, because then that's when it starts to go downhill.
Yeah, like those people who have a joint Facebook, that's like, Mike and Susie. It's like, no, you're different people.
You've got your stuff, I've got mine, that's it. I don't even do joint bank accounts. You've got your own, I've got mine.
Well, and Stephen added a comment that I think is great. As a partner, I'm always with my wife, but sometimes it becomes really hard to give personal space to each other. And I think it's like you live in the same place.
Hold on a second. I can answer this one because I'm married for 24 years, almost 24 years, and we spend so much time together. Like, if you see me, you see him 9 times out of 10. Yeah. So personal space is very important, and I still take time at least once a month or every other month. I will take a hotel night, and he gets his personal space when he drives home from work back and forth. But that's really the only personal space he asks for.
Like when I'm with a guy and I really love them, I am very needy and I do want like cuddles and attention all the time. But then I understand that sometimes he's got to do things and I've got to do things. But the mistake I was making, he was doing all his things, but I was stopping. Mine went to a standstill. Yes. Because when he wanted me there, I'd be there and forget about everything else that I had going on in life, just to make him happy. And obviously it felt good to me too, because I like being with him. But then I totally forgot about the fact of, but what about everything else that's going on in my life? It's going to all get messed up while I'm just doing everything for you. But it's just hard to pull myself away because I'm like, oh my goodness. So that's what I need to fix within myself. I need to learn how to just have a balance in a relationship, but not to a point where he feels like he's being forgotten, and not to a point where I feel like I'm being forgotten.
Yeah, and I love the idea of, he's going out and doing things with his bros, right? Yeah. That's an opportunity for you to go do stuff with your girls. Like, I think, Mia, your idea of like a night away in a hotel, if not everyone can afford that, but if you can, a night away like is great to do whatever you want. I think another opportunity would be if, there's a once a month where you plan a girls' night and he plans a guys' night. And if you've got littles at home, then you plan them on different nights. So he does it on Friday and you're home with the kiddos. And then 2 weeks out, you get your night out, he's home with the kiddos. But I think that's really important, is that we don't lose who we are. We don't lose our friends. I know for me, when I was married, it became like we just always hung out with other couples. And it was like the girl time was so few and far between. And then I remember trying to have a girls' night at my house, and he was there and the baby kept crying. And so I kept getting pulled away to go deal with the baby on my girls' night. So like getting out of the house and getting away, I think is key to not losing your mind.
And you can also take days where, midday, even during work, and go and get your nails done. if you're a female, or go after work and grab a beer on your way home. It doesn't have to be a whole entire day. It doesn't have to be a whole entire hour. 30 minutes is perfect because that gives your brain time to reset itself and be like, okay, yes, I'm okay in this relationship. We're going to succeed and we're going to move forward. Because I know that's what that me time is. It's like, I can't handle it anymore. I need just me.
It's all well and good, but why am I the one that every time I get in a relationship, the guy's always like, come out with me and my friends, and I'm like, but what are you doing? And then he tells me that, I'm like, oh yes, let's go. And then all his friends go, you're like one of the lads, you're like one of the lads. And I'm just like, but I'm not a male, but like, you know what, it's just the banter that I have with them, and I'm not afraid to, you know, I'm not like, oh, I'll break a nail, I don't want to do that. I'm like, no, let's do it, let's go karting, let's paintball, I'll shoot you, if it hurts, it hurts. Let's go, let's roll in the mud. And
It just sounds like you're very cool, Sophie, okay?
It's like,
we all want to hang out with Sophie.
no, but honestly, they'll sit and have roasting battles. I'll get involved and then they'll roast me. And the roasts that I come back with are like, I've got nothing to say back to that. And then that's why I think I'm one of the lads, because I'm not afraid to hit deep. I'm like, yeah, let's have a roasting battle, my turn.
That is another important thing in relationships too. I think we haven't hit on this one yet, is yes, we're compatible with the person that we've chosen now. Yes, we have found our trust. We have found our compatibility. Our sex life is now great. Can we get along with their friends?
Ooh.
That is the one thing. Are their friends saying you're a bad person because they're spending more time with you? You don't want to be in a relationship where a friend is trying to pull that person away from you either. So that's another big thing is, are you going to become part of their friend group? Are they going to become part of your friend group? Are you guys going to create a whole new friend group together? And are you willing to leave those friends behind?
Yeah. And it's the obviously the awkwardness of a guy changing who they are around their friends.
Yes.
Like, they've got two different personalities, so around their friends, they are not afraid to insult you, and they're not afraid to act different around you and act distant from you. And act like lads, like when they are being disrespectful, they'll be disrespectful, or they'll talk a certain way, or they'll drink more, even though they say they don't drink. And like, don't change who you are around me. You're either one person or the other, because that's when it gets confusing and you feel like you're not in a relationship with one person, but two different people. And it's never cool to show off in front of your friends just for a laugh, because that's all it is. Because then that puts a spanner in the works for your relationship, even though you didn't want that to happen. In the time you just wanted your friends to be like, he's the guy, him. Yeah. And that's not cool.
Well, it's funny.
Sometimes we have to listen to our friends too, because sometimes they're trying to look out for us. Yeah. And we don't see that bad in that person. And then later on, we're like, well, maybe we should have listened to them.
Yeah. So it's best to listen to the people looking in from the outside, because you've got your rose-coloured glasses on and you can't actually see everything that's going on, whereas they're looking out on the inside from the outside and they can see everything.
I think that's why it's important to have good people as your friends. I think we can all think back to either someone in our lives now or someone in our lives at one point who is a toxic friend, who they are just really negative. They always see the bad, not the realist that's like, make sure you consider this, this, and this, but just, we all have had toxic people. And when you have toxic people, they might be trying to, like you said, Mia, pull you away from someone who's actually a good match for you. Or, you know, the most minor thing might come up between you and your partner or the person that you're seeing, and they will be the kind to just attack them and just want you to be alone or what have you. So it's so important to have good people that you can trust their judgment in not only your partner, but in your friends.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Yes. But that plays a big part too. You're trusting those ones that are there to support you. The ones that are not there to support you are trying to pull them away, pull the other person away, or pull you away from that person. Those aren't true friends anyway, so you shouldn't be friends with them to begin with.
No.
Yeah, there are also cheerleader friends, which can be a good thing, people who cheer for you, but there's the people who support you no matter what, but like even as you are diving off of a cliff, and they're just like, yeah, you just like do it. And like sometimes you need your friends to like bring it back in, like, no, this person is not good because did you notice this, and this? Yes. But there's some people that they don't want to say anything because they have trouble with conflict or they're afraid they'll lose you as a friend. So you're just like walking out into oncoming traffic and they just let you without saying anything. You've got to make sure that you're surrounded by people that are going to say something.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, they'll say it all. Relationships are really, really complex, but when we focus on self-improvement, we're better equipped to handle those challenges that come our way.
100%. And that's what this segment is all about. Becoming the best version of yourself for you and your partner or your potential partner.
So, look what you've learned tonight and make a change. Even the small steps can lead to big transformations. All right, folks. Let's talk about the elephant, or should I say algorithm, in the room. Dating apps, love them or hate them, they become the cornerstone of modern dating, unfortunately.
I hate to even call it a cornerstone. It's more like a double-edged sword.
Fair point. On one hand, these apps make meeting new people easier than ever. Swipe right or swipe left. It's like shopping, but for love.
Or disappointment. Let's not forget the countless stories of mismatched expectations.
Oh, there's so many. Like you meet someone who looks like a Greek god in their profile pictures, but when you see them in person, it's like you got the Temu version.
It's crazy. Dating apps can really work. I've had and heard some success stories. Have either of you tried them? I've been on a few dating apps. I mean, I know I'm married, but I date outside of my marriage females. Let's put it that way.
For me, it was once and never again. I matched with someone who actually insisted their car was their soulmate. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, they said the car was their soulmate. Like, it's crazy. And obviously, there was the unsolicited dick pic that I spoke about earlier. The first message I get, and it's a Harry. And I was like, no, thank you. No, not asked for.
Guys, please don't send us dick pics unless we give you the green light. If we say like, I would like a dick pic, or let me see that dick, or we send you a
I'd really like to know.
can I see? If you don't get the yes, she 100% wants me to send a dick pic, she probably does not want it.
Even if she sends you a noodle first. I was trying to see how. Even if she's sending you noodles, don't send her noodles back without asking first.
Without asking, yes. All right, Lucas is asking, what's the biggest red flag for you in the relationship? Is that directed at one person, or is that in general in any relationship?
For me, my first red flag in my most serious relationship, which is the father of my children, I should have seen it coming when I had been dating him for 2 weeks. I was very young and naive, and I went to my mum's birthday party, which was a meal and with all my family and drinks. And he was texting me, phoning me, get back here now. You're clearly cheating on us with someone, you slag, all that type of stuff. If you don't come here now, I'm going to break up with you, go sleep with another woman. Saying that he was going to come to my house and that he was going to smash my house up and stuff like that if I didn't get to his house now. And stupid, young, naive me run from, I would say, about 4 miles from where I was to his house, crying and begging him not to break up with us because I was stupid, and I should have seen that red flag, but I did not. That was a big one.
My biggest red flag would probably be unwillingness to open up. So communication. Anything to do with communication is a red flag for me.
We've just got a really funny comment off Andy, sorry. That's a good one. Andy said, sorry, no pictures of Dick Cheney.
Please.
Unless requested.
Unless requested, yeah, there you go.
Oh my god, I love that. That's a good one, Andy.
Yeah. For me, oh my gosh, my list of red flags has grown so much. But I think the biggest thing for me is game playing. Because I have been single for 8 years. I have dated off and on. I had a relationship that was 9 months. I had one that was a year, and I had one that I don't know if you even classify it as a relationship or what time frame you put on it. But outside of those, I've been single, and there's a lot of game playing. And it's like you can't text back right away because you'll look too available, or you have to leave her on red for a certain amount of time so that she double texts you. Like there's all these like games that are played, and people ask the question, well, how do I play the game? What do I have to say to get them to respond this way? What do I have to do to make them feel like this, which will cause them to react like this? I'm just not willing to do any of it. So if a person can't just communicate clearly in full sentences, I don't want a WYD. If you give me a WYD, what am I doing? Blocking you. I'm not talking to you anymore. I want full sentences. And so for me, yeah, it's just game playing as a red flag. If I get even a hint that you're playing a game, I will just call that shit out. And I'll be like, I'm trying to think of like a specific example when it happened, but I will literally ask the question, like, it feels like you're trying to make me feel insecure. Like, I'm very secure in myself. And if you're looking for a woman that feels that way, like, I'm not for you. So that's my red flag is I don't do games. I'm too old for that.
I think everybody should be too old for that because that's lack of communication. Playing games is definitely lack of, it all comes back to communication.
So can I give the audience a bit of advice, especially with being in abusive relationships? So I'm not sure if it's in America as well. Here we've got a thing called Claire's Law. And Claire's Law is where you can call a number, tell them about the guy that you're with, so names and everything, and anything police record wise that they have on record, they will tell you confidentially to let you, so you can get out of that relationship if they've had any bad past. So if they've abused anyone, if they've got any convictions, if they did anything wrong, you can find out by calling or emailing Claire's Law, and they will send you everything. If you have red flags and you think maybe this person seems quite abusive, or this person seems like he's done some bad things, if you always guess and second guess that, honestly, in the UK, do a Claire's Law if you are unsure.
I'm kind of
for sharing that.
My thinking is like, if I have a gut feeling that makes me want to call Claire's Law or post in one of those "Are we dating the same guy?" like social media groups, that is your body telling you no to this person. And so I'm like, there have been times for me that I just had a gut feeling that there's something off about this person, but I can't place it. Like on paper, checklist, everything is good. I can't identify a bad thing, but something in my gut is saying no. And I would ignore my gut because mentally, logically, there's no reason to not move forward. Um, but I feel like your gut is always right. And
Yeah.
when we ignore our gut, we pay for it later. And we end up looking at the list on paper and all the little passive aggressive comments here and there, like we dismiss it and we like gaslight ourselves and we say like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Um, and then when the relationship ends and you look back and you're like, oh my God, there were like 100 red flags and I ignored all of them. The first one being that gut feeling in the pit of my stomach.
Yeah. It's a bit weird, but in relationships, I've actually, so I wouldn't call it predicting what's happening, but I have a sense of feeling, and then I'll sleep, and in that sleep I'll have a dream, or it's something more than a dream, because in this dream I can literally feel, taste, smell everything, and it'll feel so realistic. So it'll feel like I'm awake and it's not a dream. It feels very real. I'm actually living it. And when I've had that dream and I look into that dream turns out to be true. It's like a warning, and I don't know why it happens to me, but every time I get little warnings in my dreams or little signs, and I'll dig into it, and then I'll be like, oh my God, that was a sign. Like, I don't know why it happens to us. It's crazy. I don't know if anyone else has experienced that, but I don't know.
That's crazy. I'm not experienced.
It's like some destination shit, okay?
So, ladies, what is your true and honest thoughts about dating apps? I mean, do we continue to use them in the future because they're convenient, or should we go back to dating old school?
I think for me, it kind of depends where you're at and what you're looking for. So I think that if you are ready to settle down and get married and start a family, and you know, I have my work and I'm looking for my person and I want to move to this next step of life, dating apps are a great way to meet people who are also looking for that. Or if you're just looking for hookups, you could put that in your profile. They are a great, super easy way for hookups. I mean, even looking for a partner, you're finding the hookup people as you're swiping, right?
Right.
But I think for me and where I'm at right now, I have 5 jobs right now. I have my full-time job, and then I have 4 side hustles that are all just, super part-time. And I'm a single mom. I've shared parenting, so I do have, time away from my kids. But for me, I feel like dating apps are a time suck. And what I have found on there, this is not true of everyone, so I'm not saying this is true of everyone, but what I found on there is a lot of people who don't really have anything going on. They're just bored. They go to work, they come home, they watch TV, or they go to the gym and repeat. And so they're just bored. They're looking for someone to entertain them. And I am very self-entertaining. I am always busy. I have to intentionally carve out time to relax. And so I could definitely see myself getting on a dating app sometime, someday, but not anytime soon. I have too much going on, and I would rather meet someone like organically in the things I'm already doing, going out and listening to music or going to, sporting events or the park or whatever. I'd rather meet people who are already doing those things instead of people who are just swiping behind a screen. That's just me though.
Yeah.
And where are you at? You're moving in. Are you looking for a life partner, or are you just looking for a fun time at this point within the dating world?
I would be looking for a life partner. So
Okay.
I've gotten to the point where if somebody just wants to hang out for something casual, I'm like, it sounds like a lot of effort, and I have to carve out a whole evening and I have to entertain them. And it's like, I can make dinner for myself, or I could get takeout. Like if it's a no strings attached type of person, or someone who doesn't seem like emotionally available, it just doesn't seem like a value add. It just takes away from my life. So I'm like, if you're not going to add value and come alongside of me and the things that I'm doing, not that I'm not willing to do that for someone else too. Like if somebody else has a passion and we click, like I would come alongside of them too. But I either want a life partner or I want to be alone. I'm so over the in between. So.
And Sophie, where are you at?
I don't want anything at all yet. I'm a single myself and I have a very busy life. The kids' father is as much use as a chocolate fire guard, so there's no help from him there. I recently just got out of a relationship with a guy that was my childhood sweetheart, and he portrayed himself to be this amazing person, and for a long time he kept that act up, and then I started to see little red flags here and there. So his ex was insulting me, insulting my children, and I kept quiet because I didn't want to cause any drama for him, because she has his children and that's how he sees them. But then when she came for my child's disability, as a mother lying, I lost it. I completely lost it, and I shouted at her. This had nothing to do with him, and he took her side.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he took her side and he lied and said he told me not to text her when he told me I could text her. While she was on the phone. So he answered the phone first when she was calling and then said, so he didn't say it before answering the phone or off the phone. I said, I told you not to text. I went, yes, you did. And then loads of other things he started to do. He started to lie all the time. And I'm just so sick and done. Like, I need to sort my life out, my children out, my home out, and feel comfortable within myself and pursue my career. And then one day I'll maybe finally open up to dating people, but I never want just one night stands. I'm not that kind of girl. I've never had a one night stand in my life. That's not me. So if you're looking for just, some sex, that's not me. I'm dating to figure out you. You're dating to figure out me. And that's how it'll be. If what happens, happens. If we end up together, we do. If we don't, we don't. We just weren't compatible.
All right. And Abraham says, in all dating apps, it's up to you to, oh, wait, hold on. In all dating apps, it's rare to find your true life partner.
I agree with that one. That's why I don't do dating apps.
Now, see, I've heard some success stories. So whether you are swiping away or meeting people at a cafe, there's one thing we can all agree on. Safety first.
Yes, massively.
Yep.
So make sure you're protecting yourself out there, folks. The digital age has its perks, but it also comes with its risks. So when you're using your dating apps, make sure you're protecting yourself and at least one person knows where you are.
I always get the guy's last name and then I stalk him on social media and see if we have any mutual friends. And then I ask the most trusted mutual friend about him. And yeah, if they're not on social media, which is rare, but it does happen, if I'm going to meet someone, it's always a public place. Like I am not, first of all, if you're inviting me to your place on the first date, you're just trying to hook up with me and you're trying not to spend any money. So I'm already seeing low effort, but just safety wise, like it makes sense. Meet them in public. So let's transition over to a topic that I've learned about recently, micromance.
A micro what?
Micromance. It's the idea that the little things like sending a sweet text or remembering your favorite coffee order or your favorite candy, that those little things matter more than big grand gestures.
I love that. It's like the everyday moments that really show someone cares about you. Just the little sweet text to say, good morning, beautiful, or how you doing this morning, beautiful, are you okay, and stuff like that. Oh, it warms my heart, and I'm just like, oh, hi, baby, I love you, I'm okay. I'm such a soft-hearted person. I'm so mushy.
Like a micromance, you're not, there's no skywriting I love you in the clouds.
I mean,
No big
maybe,
grand gestures.
maybe yes, but only if you've nailed the basics first, such as texting back, for starters.
But now, for my favourite part of this segment, it's the Gen Z dating trends. Are you ready for this? Are you?
Gen
Who's
Z,
ready?
ooh, babies. Okay, sure.
Okay, Tinkerbell.
Okay.
I'm scared.
First up,
I'm old.
me too. I'm doubling it a little bit. Okay, first up is throning. Do you guys know what throning is?
I have some ideas coming to mind.
Okay, it's when someone dates a person to boost their own status. So think of like, do you know, dating the quarterback back in high school just because he's a quarterback and he's like really popular and being like, I was the quarterback. Like that kind of thing. But
Original
boost your status. Yeah.
Some things
They-
never change.
Yeah.
That's seriously such a terrible foundation for a relationship, but like people do it all the time. I think celebrities do it too. But think about like that quarterback example. It makes me think of the movie The Wedding Singer. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but like what happens as you get older or the status fades? It's like you have no foundation.
Well, that's where there's another Gen Z dating trend. So it's meeting on the same fan page. Like this one's actually quite wholesome. It's about like finding love through shared interests. Like so it's like a fan group for your like favourite shows or bands. Like that sort of thing. So you are showing the same interests as each other and you're matching off the same interests and who you are as a person.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
It connects when you have something in common, like the same band, the same TV show, maybe the same restaurant.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what I'm looking for, and I'm like totally on board as long as it's not something like a shared love for like the toilet paper coming from underneath instead of the toilet paper coming from on top. Like there's no space for that. It doesn't make any sense, and that's where I draw the line.
The audacity.
Right.
I know.
When I go places and I see that the toilet paper is upside down, I fix it. I don't care if it's your house. If you like it upside down, you're doing it wrong, and I'm going to educate you.
I'll just walk out of the bathroom. I won't use it.
100%.
Throwing or fan paging. Remember, it's not about the trend, guys. It's about the connection.
Truly
Right.
is. And finding someone who sees you for who you truly are. That's the most important thing, who you truly are.
The real version of you, not the version that you're trying to be for them.
Not the fake one. From the start to the end, the true version of you. Yeah.
And not asking you to be either.
Yep. They're letting you be yourself, and they're delighting in you as you are.
Yeah. Be yourself, and if they don't like it, don't change yourself for no one, because there's someone out there who loves you for exactly who you are. And that
Your
person
authentic self.
that walked away wasn't your person.
That's right.
He probably sent that noodle in the beginning of the relationship.
All right. So what about our listeners right now? Those of you commenting, what's your take on these trends? Let us know in the comments or call in. We'd love to hear your stories.
Hello. It's a mirror boat.
All right, guys. Here on Tangled Heartstrings, for this segment, we're sharing something a little different. I'm gonna tell you guys how I met my husband. It's a crazy story. Insane. Nobody believes me. So we went to school together for like ever. I started school in his district in second grade. He was already there. Went to school together. I bullied him a little bit through middle school, and then we started working at Chuck E. Cheese together. And that's kind of how we started. Almost 25 years ago, actually. We've been together longer than we've been married.
That's amazing. I can't imagine that long with anybody. The only people I've had in my life that long are like my family. 25 years. Couple friends, but not like that you see.
Not always peaches and cream. We've had our difficulties. I've wanted to leave him a few times. I did leave him once, and we spent time away from each other. But it was more about communicating with each other, how we feel and why we feel that way, and just really working hard towards making ourselves better on our own, and then creating a better relationship within ourselves. There's been times that we've had to step back, and there's always going to be times in a relationship. Not every relationship is going to be peaches and cream, and it shouldn't be. Your relationships should not be peaches and cream. You should have arguments, because if it's peaches and cream, it's going to be no fun. I promise you that, because the makeup sex is the best part of the whole relationship.
Well, and honestly, if everything is peaches and cream, there's probably real conflict that's being avoided. If there's no fighting and there's no tension ever, somebody is holding things in, because there is no way that you 100% agree with one person on everything all the time. There has to be conflict. If there's not conflict, who's not being honest?
Yeah. Do you think we should make this a little more fun and play a game with the audience? Play a little game with the audience.
It's time to have some fun. Welcome to Would You Rather Dating Edition.
Here's how it works. We will give you 2 date options, and you just type into the chat your favorite. If you're playing with a partner, you can try to guess what they'll pick. But when we say the 2 different options, just go ahead and put into the chat which one you prefer.
Okay, so shall I start with the first question? So, would you rather a game night or a night at the casino?
Ooh, I know what I would pick.
I know what I would pick. Come on, guys, type in the comments. What would you pick?
What would you do, Mia?
I would totally go on a casino night. They're my favorite. We do that every couple months.
Me too. Our local casino has live music every Friday and Saturday, and I'm a musician, and so there's always a band there. And if I'm friends with them, I get to support my friends, and if not, I get to meet new people. And my dad loves to gamble, so I don't have a boyfriend. So my dad loves to gamble. So I'll go with him sometimes, and he's like a VIP, and he always wins. So, and I'm all about any chance to get dressed up and go out and do something. What would you do, Sophie? Tinkerbell?
I would probably, I'm not a gambler. I've never gambled in my life. I would probably have a game night, but where a game night out, so there's places you can go where you can actually play games.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like you could do pub quizzes, or you could do what else do they do? Like bowling or stuff like that. Like I'm more that. Like I love it. Or go-karting or paintballing, like stuff like that. I'd rather do a game
Okay,
night.
your next one. Which would you rather do? Paintball or bowling?
Paintball. I'm sorry. I'm such a bloke.
I would rather do bowling because I'm a wuss and I don't like bruises. I was shifting around on my chair as we were setting up, and I hit my leg on my desk, and it's been hurting the whole time. So I'm imagining paintball and getting splattered everywhere, and it.
Sounds like so much fun.
I've done it once. It's been a long time. I probably should try it again and not be lame. I was at a very different point in my life then, so I'm probably due to try it again.
I don't mind bruises, but certain kinds of bruises, kind of like, yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Okay, so let's say,
the finger mark, like the little finger mark. Yeah.
would you rather have a dinner in or a movie night out?
A movie night out. 100%. Oh,
I would like to do both.
appreciate you guys. We appreciate you too, PS. Oh, it's so sweet. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I love to cook, and I love trying new foods. So I think if I was with someone that appreciated a home cooked meal, I would love like a dinner in with a movie in. But I also love a movie night out and all the popcorn, and you gotta get an icy that's like, or like a frozen drink that's like half cherry and half Coke, the biggest size. Yes, there's a theater near me that if you get a large, they give you free refills. So I'll get a large popcorn, and it'll be me and a friend and all of our kids, and we'll bring little containers, and we pay for one large popcorn and then one drink for each person, obviously. But then we just keep going back and getting refills.
Okay, I got one more, and it's not really a date night. It's more of a getaway because this would be a make it or break it for me. The beach or the lake?
The beach.
The beach, 100%.
The beach.
We can tell by Mia's face she does not like the beach.
No, she does not agree. Think lying on the sand, looking up at the stars, the waves crashing, and even a bit of skinny dipping. You can both just strip off and go skinny dipping.
Places it's not supposed to be, and things can eat me from the ocean.
I don't know how to pronounce his name, but Jiva, I think it is.
Javier.
Said the beach. How do you pronounce it?
I'm a Javier.
Javier.
I'm so sorry.
I'm more of a lake girl because, like, I can get the fishing pole out. We can go out on the kayaks. It's calm water. We don't have to worry about tipping over.
I'm fine with a big lake if it has a beach. So I'm near Lake Erie, and we have a really nice beach on Lake Erie, and so you can lay out. It's fresh water. It's not salt water because I am terrified of sharks and jellyfish. And so you could go to the lake and have a beach. But when I think of the lake, I think of a lake house and I think of bonfires, and like that's all fine. But I would rather lay out on the sand in the sun with an umbrella and a fancy like margarita. So.
Oh, I said that's absolutely fine. Many people don't get it. I bet you're sitting there really and thinking those bloody Brits. Pronouncing my name wrong. Look at them. British people, eh?
I just don't like the sand getting in places that it shouldn't be getting into. I'm good on that one.
All right, well, that was so much fun. And remember, it's not about what activity you choose to do. It's just about having fun and connecting.
All right, it's time to hear from you guys. What are your tangled heartstrings? Share your stories with us. Drop a comment, call the phone number. It's up in the top of the comments. I don't remember what it was. I apologize about that one.
Oh, I think I got it. It is
be here on the show with us.
571-317-3122. I think that in our current culture,
Sorry, I'm being pushy.
I think that in our current culture, phone calls are so inconvenient.
Yes.
I know even for me, I have a friend I used to talk to on the phone like every day for like an hour. We just would constantly catch up on here's what you missed. Because when you're in the middle of relationship drama, you know there's like hourly updates, right? And I've gotten to a point where I don't have time for a phone call. I don't even feel like I have 10 minutes because I'm constantly go, go, go. So for me, like chat or text like is so much easier. So I think that we'll probably I think there's probably a reason that we've been hearing from a lot of people in the chat tonight.
I
You
think
know.
so too.
I want to hear a sexy American guy voice. Come on! Or
She
just
wants
anywhere
to
but the
please.
anywhere but the UK. Just like I want to hear different accents. I want to hear it.
Oh no, I want to hear British accents. 100%. Bring on the British accents.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
All right, ladies. What an incredible night. We've laughed, we've learned, and maybe we've even cried a little bit. Maybe a little bit.
Recalling some stories from the past, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. My favorite part was the questions. I liked answering the questions. I love that.
My favorite part was hearing about the dick pic that you got unsolicited from a stranger.
Or the guy that swore his soulmate was his car.
Yeah, I'm not much of a car person, so I just don't get that.
I don't understand that at all.
No.
My favorite part is getting to spend time with you ladies and chatting and interacting and having you guys in the comments and being able to interact with you there. I can't wait till you guys actually start calling in and we get to answer your questions and we get to share your stories here on our show.
Yeah, because we want to be here for you and we want to support you, but we don't want this to just be us talking at you. We want this show to be about you guys, what you're going through, and we want to help untangle those heartstrings. I'm trying to like do a knot with my fingers, but my fingers don't go that way.
And there's no need to be shy. We don't bite unless you ask for to. So
That has to be nicely.
yeah, it has to be nicely. And I need to get my British ass over to America to come see you guys.
Yes, you do. Quickly.
Or we could have a trip to the UK. I mean, I'd be on board with that too.
Yes.
I'll take you around Newcastle. You'll love it. You'll love it. Newcastle's a great night.
Oh no, I think we'll just meet in Amsterdam. We'll all be good.
Newcastle's better than
How about we just meet at your place, Sophie, and you just show us around and tell us where to go?
I mean, I've got a huge sofa. 2 years can fit on here.
Awesome.
We can all share the same bed. It's okay.
Oh, that's fine. I've got a king size bed. We'll just do that.
Oh yeah, we could fit in that for sure. For sure.
All right, next time we're going to dive into long distance relationships and how to make them work. Trust me, you won't want to miss this.
I want to hear this. That might be my only hope because I don't think a future person is in my city.
I don't know. I don't think I could do it. A long distance one, no. But we'll figure out if we can do it.
And next time, right? I don't even know where the camera is. Look at this. Next time, we want some calls. I'm not asking. I'm telling you. No, when I'm joking. It's fine. You what I'm doing.
She's really not. Don't let her lie to you. She's not joking. She's demanding it.
No. All right. Well, we will see you guys all next time on Tangled Heartstrings.
Thank you guys for joining us. Until next time, don't forget, you can drop comments, subscribe to the page that you're viewing us on, and you can comment there also. Send us messages. You can send a message to the account that you're viewing us on, and we can read your messages out here. That would be fantastic. We can share your story without even speaking to you as long as you message it to us.
Yeah.
Correct. Just please do it in English. I don't think anyone on here is bilingual. Unless you guys are you?
No, but we'll figure it out. You can use any language that you have, and we will
Google Translate. You could just translate it online. Perfect.
Yes.
I've got headphones that when people speak, it translates what they're saying in my ear.
Ooh. So if somebody calls in speaking a different language, you'll be able to translate for us?
Yeah, so next time I go to the nail salon, best believe I will be wearing them. I want to know what they're chatting shit about.
That's such a good idea.
Yes. I'll be like, yeah, I know Chinese, but really it's getting told to me. Yeah. I know what you said. I want to hear the gossip.
It's awesome.
All right, ladies, until next time, thank you for joining us tonight on Tangled Heartstrings.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.